What's up, everybody? Welcome to AEW Uncensored. Here with my boy Alan, the Bridge and Tunnel Connect, Nolan Hash, and
The beast from the east with the least research.
Research. Man. So what's up today, brother?
Not much. How you doing?
Yeah, not too bad. Hanging in there. Lazy Sunday. Lazy Sunday.
Yeah.
So shout out to everybody with us. Thanks for watching. Gonna start off with a little miscellaneous nonsense. What do you got?
Well, so I actually got this from you yesterday. This is very interesting. Picture was taken, one of the cases of the AEW Unrivaled figure assortment, and on that case was a numbered of 295 cases. That is a low number. So it sounds like there are possibly only 295 cases of this specific assort.
With Brandy.
With Brandy.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we will say that the ringside collectible cases were Brandy cases. Also, is this just a batch? Is this just a batch number of cases as well?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how it works. I don't know if that's total cases or if that is 295 for that batch, and there might be another batch of 295 cases. But if it's only 295 cases going to Walmart, I mean, that damn near, Walmart's probably got more stores than that across the U.S. Possibly less. I mean, I don't really know. I'm not going to sit here and act like I do. But say they had 295 stores, that means one case per store, you know?
Yep,
I believe,
that's quite limited.
Yeah, I mean, in that case, it's almost like, what's the sense? But I have a feeling maybe that's just a batch. That's the first batch of like 295 cases. Some guy did mention he got 3 cases were in his store that he ran into, and he grabbed the Brandy. Everybody's going to be trying to grab Brandy now. It's funny that we shit on that figure, how like nobody's going to want it, and why would we want a Brandy? And they put this what would you call, there's a word for it, but fake demand, this
Oh yeah, it's artificial demand.
artificial demand, correct? Yeah.
Yeah.
So cracks me up a little bit, but here I am. I'm like, now I gotta order fucking Brandy. I talked all this shit, who wants it? But as a completist, I need a Brandy.
Right.
So
right.
I went and did order her off ringside.
And then you could cosplay as Brandy and just stroke the figure's hair,
Oh shit. Shout out to Jimmy, my boy Jimmy. Let's start this shit wagon. Woo! Got us
What's
in the
up, Jim?
chat. I think that was before we launched, so it's not showing up for some reason here. And why do I keep getting pinged off Skype? I don't know why I keep getting pinged off Skype. Anyway, so all right, we'll move on from the figures. So hopefully it's more than 295, and that just happens to be a batch. Fingers crossed. I mean, not that I need them at this point, but for everybody else's sake, because believe it or not, it's like every time I see people talking AEW figures on Twitter or Facebook, everybody goes, I still haven't found them. I still haven't found them. I still haven't found them. So it's like, whoever found them, I would guess that 90%, 95% of the time, whoever found them from the displays that were put out and maybe the random cases were scalpers, people who just were buying them to resell. So that left a lot of people either spending high money on them or not, or just waiting, or some people got them from ringside, obviously from their pre-orders. But I would say realistically, it's like most people that just don't bother buying aftermarket just couldn't find them in stores. So
Yeah.
I mean, that's just kind of like the what I'm seeing, from everything. But yeah, I mean, from there we can move on to AEW change their Twitter handle. I believe it was AE Wrestling. If I'm not mistaken, it is now, I believe, just AEW, or
Mm-hmm.
again, least
Probably makes more sense.
again, least research. So
Yeah,
I didn't
exactly.
I didn't take a deep dive into that. I saw it, made a quick note about it. I don't even know if that. I think it was AE Wrestling was the Twitter handle, and now it's AEW if I'm not mistaken. That's how it went.
Hmm.
Uh, nothing major. I mean, just something. One of our buddies kind of gave us an idea to talk about. So, and then one big thing in this week's miscellaneous would be Harold Mage, I believe is how you say his last name. Who was the president of I believe he was the president of New Japan Pro Wrestling.
And CEO.
CEO. There you go.
Both.
He was both. Okay, so there you go. So he stepped down, and I don't remember the guy taking over. A Japanese guy.
Oh, Takami Obari.
Yeah, he's in charge of New Japan US, right?
Yes, so and he's the current he's the current CEO of New Japan for the US, and
Right.
so now he's just going to be the president and CEO altogether.
Right. So there you go. So now this is interesting, and you say, why does New Japan have anything to do with AEW? Because, well, this is why. Because I mean, most of you know this shit. With this guy in charge, this was the guy that for the last year was in charge while AEW, willing to have a working relationship with New Japan Pro Wrestling, was not reciprocating that willingness. I don't know if it was him per se, or if it was just the overall feeling, but the way it's starting to sound from all the reports is that there was more of a willingness from other people within the company to work with all elite wrestling, so in a collaborative sense. So this probably opens the door a little bit. You have any little more details on that? Some of the things
Well,
that.
yeah. I mean, this is coming from Wrestling Observer Radio. Basically, Mage had promised 200 million in revenue, but with the pandemic, that was, of course, a much taller order than what could be achieved. Even without the pandemic, New Japan would have needed really big, television deals. They're calling it monster television deals, and bigger expansion to hit those numbers. And Mage was somewhat hands off with New Japan as far as expanding in America. And that was the focus of Obari. So since Obari was much more keen on having the expansion happen, then yes, you're right. There is much more of a possibility of that taking place now. And the other reason for the change was apparently losing TV in the States. Originally,
that's
huge.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, New Japan had been on Access TV since the end of last year. If they had decided to actually work with Impact at the time, it was the parent company Anthem, then New Japan probably would have stayed on Access TV. So losing that, definitely TV is going to be a big thing if they can, in fact, do a combo with AEW, work together with anybody else. So, yeah, as you said, having Obari step in, he's much more keen on having a relationship there. So we could be seeing something big.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I mean, listen, I think AEW needs to stand on its own, but it's not going to hurt to have those excursions, those little, tours, back and forth between the two companies, similar to what WCW New Japan had back in the the 80s and 90s.
Yep.
I think that was huge. It got a lot of stars from Japan over. It got a lot of American stars over in Japan. So I think that's pretty big. I personally feel that'd be great. I mean, for everybody involved. I mean, there's a lot of great talent in both companies, and I'd love to see them intermix here.
Yep.
All right, before we move on, do me a favor, guys. Like, share, subscribe. Click that thumb, click the bell. That's all huge for us. I mean, algorithms. That's we're gonna do the typical YouTuber. Thing. Smash the like button, share. Click the bell, all that shit. Everything we do is at uncensoredalliance.com. So you go there. We have all our links, all our email links. Shit, I think I gotta add the Twitter link. I don't think I did that, but catch us on Twitter at AEW Uncensored. One word, nothing in between. Email AEW Uncensored Podcast at gmail.com. just send us an email. You love us, you hate us, you want us to talk about something, you want to talk about something, anything, gripes, complaints, loves, hates, any of that shit. Facebook, AEW Uncensored Podcast. Search it in the search bar. We have a group and a page. They'll both pop up. Like one, join the other. As far as the podcast version of this goes, if you're listening, we do this every Sunday at 3:05 p.m. Eastern Standard Time in the United States. I know that means it's maybe Monday, like our boy George over in Australia, who will probably be waking up shortly and, as always, joining us, which we appreciate. So you could catch us on the podcast on any third-party app. You could catch us on iTunes, Google Podcasts, Deezer, TuneIn, Stitcher, iHeartRadio. On iTunes, please rate, review us. Whether you give us a 1-star or 5-star, good review, bad review, all of it works. All of it helps. All of it pushes us on that platform, which is the largest podcast platform in the world. So that's helpful. And as always, if you want to join us on the show, you got to get with us on Skype. We want to be a little more interactive. Right now, it's going smooth how it's going. But we definitely would love to have more people pop in and, do calls with us. So join us on Skype. Link in the description. Link in the description on the podcast description as well. YouTube description. So join us. And that's about it, man. Just wanted to get that out of the way. Sorry, we got started and had to do this in the middle of after we got started. That don't make sense. That literally just came out all fucking bad grammar.
We got the least research and the least sense.
Least sense, yeah. So, sorry I had to go back and do this. I didn't mean to backtrack. Should have did this before miscellaneous, but I got a little bit ahead of myself. So again, thanks everybody for following us. And always we got our people in the chat. So today we got our boy Jimmy. Hopefully Jimmy can get on next week with us. That's the plan.
Yep.
He says it's like the old territory days, only for TV. So, let's move on to Dark now. You start us off with Dark? What do you got? Anything in particular you want to start off with?
So, not so much like specific notes, but I do have a general note with Dark. And it really encompasses 2 matches. So before I get to the 2 matches, the one thing I did want to bring up is that I really enjoyed was seeing Ty Conte's debut on Dark versus Red Velvet. Again, she looks great in many different ways.
That wasn't her debut on Dark, was it?
Was that not her first one-on-one on Dark?
Oh, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe one-on-one. I don't know. I'm trying to remember.
I think it was her first singles.
You might be right. You might be right. I know she's been on there before, but I don't know.
She's been on before for sure. I think, and I apologize if I'm incorrect there. Again, least research.
Least research,
but,
baby. Woo!
I do. And it's funny.
We pride ourselves on least research.
I think Red Velvet needs to get some kind of a shirt that says, "I am the cake that gets fed to everyone." Because it feels like every time she's got to be and whatever. She never wins a match. Every time she's in there with whoever she's in there against, she gets fed to that person. So her name is perfect.
They're eating her cake.
Yes,
I gotta be honest. I think she deserves to be signed. Personally, she's she works pretty well. I don't really see many complaints when I see her wrestle.
No, I agree. She's really good. I mean, if she's if she is that working jobber, if she is that Brooklyn brawler kind of character in the sense that she's there to make everybody else look good, she does really well in that. And Ty Conti looks great. That's all I really want to say about that. Is that I enjoyed watching this episode mostly for her. But the thing I really want to generally talk about is, and this gets linked with 2 matches. So we had Jurassic Express. That's Jurassic Express, Bill.
You motherfucker.
So we had them, against 5 and 10. Generally, very good match. And then, we also had the Natural Nightmares versus Silver and Cabana. So this again, you've got these 2 tag team matches. Dark Order loses. So this is again this kind of a situation where why is Dark Order losing matches? If they're really trying to get a stranglehold, is this dominant thing, you know? So that was it was something that I took a specific note of. Those two matches.
I agree with the losses, as we spoke about numerous times over the last few weeks, but I also see them using the Colt Cabana thing why they're losing, and it's not like their top guys are losing, so I'm not too worried about it, but I am worried that it will be too much losing with not enough winning, you know?
That's what I'm worried about too.
Real quick, I had this thought yesterday. I was just thinking about Dark Order while I was watching Dark. I watched it yesterday. What is the status of Rowan? Has he been brought back to WWE? Is he, Kenny,
No,
what's up, brother? Kenny's back in the house, boy.
Hey, what's up, Kenny? No, I do not think he's a WWE.
Yeah, he didn't get picked back up or anything. Actually,
I don't think he did.
Actually, you know what made me think about it? It wasn't watching Dark. It was I was watching a toy hunt video, and there was a basic Rowan, I believe, on the show.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and it just reminded me of that. I was like, wait a minute, it's pretty current. So I was a little surprised that he still had a figure come out.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just doing a quick look right now. I don't believe Eric Rowan is signed.
Okay. So here's my deal. We talk NWO Dark Order. We kind of draw comparisons. We get it. We get it. NWO will always be probably one of the best angles ever. But comparison-wise, you can say that NWO did have their lackeys while also having mega stars, not just Hulk Hogan.
Yeah.
You had Hall, Nash, Macho, Giant. You had all these guys. Then you had mid-carders. Then you had low jobbers. You know what I mean? So I think one of the better ideas for Dark Order would be to bring Rowan in as another heavy with Brodie Lee that gets work done. You know what I mean? And of course, we have the original Dark Order, Uno and Grayson, who are their other top guys. But then you have the low card guys, Silver and you have Silver and Reynolds, which will be their mid level guys. Then you got their lower guys, which would be 5. I think 10. Honestly, they should bring him up a little bit more. I think they're really misusing 10. And of course, you have Anna Jay in the middle there. So I think there's a little bit of a possibility. That would be not possibility. That I think there's a good opportunity there to really expand the Dark Order in a way without just say grabbing someone from the roster currently. But also someone with a big name value. Matter of fact, I mean, I wouldn't fucking hate it if he came in next week, made a debut, and helped Brodie win the dog collar match against, Cody. I mean, that would be fucking amazing, And then they go and they wreck fucking shop again across the fucking whole landscape,
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think maybe the only reason they might want to shy away from that is because of the fact that they don't necessarily want to pair the two of them together since they've already been paired together in WWE, but who cares?
But they like working together. They like no issue working together.
Exactly. They get along. Rowan really, it is a waste that he was let go. I mean, I get it. He was let go with a lot of other guys due to the furloughs, but
wasn't he fucking around with a fucking marionette spider or some shit?
Yes, they had him. With
I saw a video.
Spider.
I saw gifs of it. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah, it was ridiculous. Most of what they've had him do outside of the Wyatt family was just ridiculous. Yeah. So no, I agree. If he's available, there's no reason why not to bring him in there. Have some reinforcements. He could be another big heavy. It could kind of refresh the group a little bit, which I think it's crazy to say after just a few weeks,
right? But
I do feel like they need a bit of a refresh.
Yeah, I think they do. Jim says he's not, and there has been rumors he'll join Brodie Lee. Yeah,
there you go.
Hopefully that's the case. I mean, I think that would be a smart move. Definitely a good hire and a smart move to bolster the Dark Order and give them another top name.
Yeah.
You know what you're gonna hear from WWE fans? He's a mid-carder. He's a mid-carder. You talk about NWO and the top guys. He's a mid-carder. Listen, it's all how people are framed. You know.
Yeah, it's still how they're used.
WCW guys went to WWE and got framed in mid-level, and mid-level WWE guys came to WCW and became superstars. So who are we kidding at this point? So, fuck your stupid ideas. But
yeah, I didn't have much else on Dark except for just that observation of those two matches.
I got a bunch, so I'll go through.
Okay.
Geez, I have more than I thought. Looks like I'll be alone here talking.
Oh, I mean, don't get me wrong. I watched, and I'll definitely contribute in terms of just what stood out to me. So
I got no problem talking. You know
that.
Yeah. So I started watching Penelope and Alex Gracia. The match was so awful I had to just stop watching. It's funny because Jimmy gave me the heads up. He's like I watched like 90 seconds of it and just that was it. So yeah, it's pretty funny. I kind of had the same vibes. It was just really bad. Lot of like how would you call it? Where a lot of just like posing. Like they would pose. Yes. She would go down and just pose. Then they would do the move. It's like, you know, you're really just showing. You're just showing like the ability. You don't have the ability to be smooth with it. You know your transitions. There's a lot of timing issues. I'm sorry. I can't get my words today. For some reason, I'm fucking all over the place. But their timing issues were not that good. So then we get Best Friends versus Bishop King and Mbadu. Mbadu is a guy I've been talking about a little bit. I wanted to see this just for that. I was going to fast forward. I seen he was in a match. I said, okay, let me watch it. Still a little green. I think there's work to be done there, but I think it's a guy that you kind of put the work in to
yes.
bring him along. You know what I mean? Again, I'm not so sure about the name. Maybe a name change. Again, that's more based off of like, is it more his culture or is it more Black Panther with M'Baku? Like that's the only thing that really gets me is that M'Baku from Black Panther versus Mbadu. If it's cultural, okay, cool. I mean, I get it. But if it's more Black Panther based, maybe you change it up a little bit. Because where was he? Was he from Nigeria? What was the Nigerian flag? I believe.
I believe so. I believe so. Yes.
So I don't know. I listen, man. I don't know if that's particularly name synonymous with Nigerian culture. So I don't want to say the wrong shit here, but just because it's so close to that Black Panther thing, that's the only thing that really kind of throws me off. It gives you. It just gives me that thought. Like that's the first thing that pops in my head. You kind of want to have your own. Jesus Christ, I can't catch the words today. You want to have your own identity, you know what I mean? So
yeah.
And I've mentioned that before, so hopefully that's not nothing new from me. Then this guy Bishop, man, what's up? He looked like he had napkins on his knee pads. I don't know if you caught that. He looked like he had dirty napkins dangling from his knee pads, bro. Everything looked all right with them damn napkins, bro. Get them napkins off, I don't know. I had to laugh at that. I definitely like to see more of this kid Bishop,
Yeah.
Good looking young kid, he does need to work on taking chops. He was a little too like concave, like almost like he was balling up before they even came, like way too soon before they came,
Yeah, he was not. Yeah, he was not receiving them well. He really did act like he knew they were coming, and he was bracing for them too soon. He was telegraphing it way too much.
Right. Like they hurt before they even got there.
Yes, exactly.
Which I get a little bit before, but I mean, he's like they're winding up and he's already like, he's,
Yeah. Yeah.
You got to wait till it's almost impacted to do that,
Yeah, exactly.
It was just it was a little too like pronounced too. He was a little too shoulders out, chest back, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
A little too much of a divot there, All right, so off that match, we got Brandon Cutler got a promo. Wasn't a bad promo. He just didn't make me feel it. I love Cutler's work. I love Avalon's work. These guys work like a motherfucker. I think Avalon's a little better on the stick. Cutler, what he said was great. Everything he said was great. He just didn't deliver it. It was just delivered short of like making me feel what I want to feel when I hear a promo like that, if that makes sense.
Yeah, he kind of felt to me like, and obviously, I mean, they're all acting, so to speak, but there was a little bit too much like acting behind it.
Right.
It did not really feel like his heart was really into it. I mean, he's demanding a rematch. Right. His eyes weren't even like, I don't know, his eyes weren't like even showing emotion like this, whatever. He's just like, he's talking like this whole time, and he's not having any display of anything changing in his face at all. And so I agree. Yeah, I mean, they both perform great in the ring. Avalon is definitely better on the mic. There's no doubt about that.
That's on some Young Bucks acting.
There, you know what? There you go. Cutler was right, exactly. Cutler was acting like a young buck.
It was best friends. So
yeah,
where do you get it from? So then we get to the Gun Club versus Caesar Benoni and Sean Dean. I'm high on Sean Dean. I'm really high on this kid. I'm shocked they haven't fucking given this guy a contract yet. Personally, but as I'm watching it for Sean Dean, I got very interested in this Benoni kid. I mean, that dude's he's as big as Billy Gunn, which all these years I've been a wrestling fan. I wasn't a WWF fan at the time that Billy Gunn was there with what was his name, Road Dogg and whatnot.
Road Dogg.
So I wasn't watching week to week, but like everybody says, he was a big guy. What do you call it? Deceptively big. You know what I mean? And I never really noticed it from just watching like clips. Like I would see a clip here and there online, and I never really realized how big he was. But he's a big motherfucking guy, and this guy Benoni is pretty fucking big himself. And he looked pretty good. At times he looked a little unsure, but overall he looked pretty good. Again, I'm going to assume that this kid is pretty green, You would think he's off the indies somewhere.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with him at all. I was wondering if I remember him from anywhere or if I had heard anything about him, unless obviously he was going under a different name, but I am not familiar with his work at all.
Yeah, I don't know nothing about him, so but I definitely would like to see him get up to speed and sign that guy. I mean, he's another guy that you should be working with. Same with Sean Dean. It's like just get him and Badu, get him, work with him, freshen him up, tighten him up, and I think these are guys that you could get cheap, keep them around, build them up slowly. These are future guys.
Absolutely.
I still think that Dean will be the next guy signed off of Dark, personally. That's just my thought process there. So, all right. So this kind of goes into what you spoke about with Dark Order. Nah, I guess not really. Brandy and Natural Nightmares promo with Brandy. She starts talking. They talk Dark Order. Brandy says Anna Jay isn't, from what she understands, Anna Jay isn't around today.
Which didn't make any sense because Anna Jay was there for Ty Conti's match.
Exactly. She's literally like they cut camera to the ring.
Right there.
Yeah, they cut camera to the ring, and she's in the fucking audience watching Ty Conti's fucking match.
Yeah, I'm glad you reminded me of that. I did have a note that I wanted to talk about that, but I had forgotten about it. But yeah, that didn't make any sense at all. It's like, yeah, so I understand she's not here.
Yeah.
And they weren't even like, it wasn't like the announcers were even like, oh, and look, Eddy actually is here. No, they're just like, oh, there she is. It's like,
made no fucking sense to me. Yeah.
Yep.
I don't know. I don't know. It was just kind of weird. Then of course we get Brandy after the match. Tay attacks. I'm sorry. Anna Jay comes in to congratulate Tay. She says, "Relax, relax," and then she attacks Red Velvet. And of course, then we get Brandy making a save when she does attack Red Velvet. So,
which makes tons of sense because Brandy's had a few matches with Red Velvet. They're obviously on opposite sides of the, they're not friends or anything like that. But pal, who cares?
She's a heel though. Yeah, she's a heel, right? And she's a face today, a heel tomorrow. Yep. Now she's a face again.
Yep.
Fucking.
They can't make up their minds.
She's like a fucking yo-yo, and it gets me dizzy.
Yep.
She's like the thing at the park, the thing, the fucking spin that spins.
The teacups.
No. The fucking motherfucking metal thing with the bars where you would try to get it going as fast as you possibly can.
Yeah, okay.
And just like jump on and just hang off the end and fucking get dizzy.
Right.
That's what she is. You jump on her ride, and by the time you get off, you're fucking dizzy. Oh my God. I wish they still had those at parks. I would do it now as a 42-year-old man.
I think Knott's Berry Farm actually still has something like that.
I might have to go there.
There you go.
This was my favorite shit at the park.
Still in California? Oh my God.
Is that where it is? No, never mind.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. All right. I thought it was like somewhere in New York. I was like, I'll drive to New York for that. I'm sure we could find an old park somewhere around Jersey.
Yeah.
That would have it, but the new parks that they make, I don't believe they put those fuckers. Which is crazy because that was a fun fucking ride. I never got hurt on that thing.
Yeah, no,
I might have got dragged by that shit. You run, you get that thing going so fast that you try to jump on and you don't get the right grip. You're like, you're flying in the wind, man. You're fucking dragging feet. I've had that happen to me. Oh my God, I miss those days. The problem is I'm fucking 42 and I still in my brain think I'm fucking 12. So yeah, I'm like, yeah, I could do it. Fucking next thing you know, I'm in a hospital with fucking broken fibia, tibia, whatever the fuck. I broke them all. Whatever it is, I broke it.
Fibias and tibias.
Yeah, there you go. I break them so bad, I possibly lose my leg. Yeah, it's fucking ridiculous. I could picture it now. Fucking dummy that I am. Yeah, it's funny. I start watching these. I'm into these BMX videos on YouTube now. So I follow this kid from New York and this guy from Jersey. And I'm like, man, I want to get a bike again. Like, I'm out here like I'm really going to go do the shit that these guys are doing. I'm like, bro, I don't know why I still think I could do this shit like I was doing when I was 12 years old. You know what I mean?
Yeah, here I would be happy just getting a Vespa.
I watched fucking mountain bikes too. Like these guys go.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they go down these giant trails like down mountains.
Yep.
I'm like, this is fucking. Yep. I'm down. I'm gonna do it. I'm getting a bike. Fucking $500,000 later, I'm gonna get a bike. I know what I'll do. I'll go once. I'll go. This sucked. It's too much work, and then I'll never do it again. And I'll have $1,000 piece of metal sitting in my garage. I do need to get in some kind of condition though, man. Holy shit. All right, let's get back to wrestling before we fucking drive off everybody listening. So Dynamite, we get Starks versus Darby to open the show. Pretty much right to it. It's good to see Darby, man. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah.
Feel like we haven't seen Darby actually wrestle in like a year.
I was gonna say it's been at least a few weeks since he's actually wrestled a match, if I'm not mistaken.
But a singles match. When was the last time he wrestled a singles match? Has it?
Yeah.
Has it? Oh, you know what? Didn't he wrestle Will Hobbs? I'm trying to think if that was Orange Cassidy. That was.
Wow. I'm trying to remember.
Yeah, I thought he had an enhancement guy on Dark. I thought he had a jobber on Dark. probably a month or so back, month and a half back. But I think that was like the last time he had a singles match. So it's good to
Well, as
see
I'm
him.
saying, it's been a few weeks.
Yeah,
It's been at least a month.
it's good to see him back there. It's crazy that he's been gone that long. I get it.
Yeah.
There's only so much space on the card. I can't wait till they get their second show.
This is where they're going to need it. Exactly.
Yeah, and again, I think they really need to once things get a little more settled with the coronavirus. I think they need to turn Dark back into if you want to do a couple job matches on there, fine, because that's good because they are getting some guys, some young people, guys and women that are they're working them out and seeing how they are and bringing them in. So that's good. But I think they also can turn that show into like a 2-hour show with maybe 3/4 of it being extra matches that mean something and getting exposure for other people on top of the second cable show that they end up getting. So
and that would still work well on YouTube as well. It would still. It gives a little more oomph behind the product.
Right. It just expands it. Even if you want to make that a more focus more on mid-card stuff or whatever. I think it really it gives them more options. Because listen, they've got a large stable of wrestlers right now, and there's just not enough time in a week for them currently to showcase all of them. All right, so let's get back to Starks and Darby. During the match, you got Cage. He tries to interfere, and they're sticking with it. Will Hobbs comes in, makes a save, and runs him off. They brawl to the back. Listen, Will Hobbs kind of got his little shine taken away because Lance Archer got sick. So they're doing what they can to keep him on TV and keep him shining bright there. So it's good to see that. I do like this. Like I said, what was it, a week or two ago? I feel like maybe they kind of tried to elevate him a little too high, too fast. Right? But, I mean, I guess I don't mind this so much. I don't mind him the run-ins and stuff. But eventually, it's going to lead to something with him in a main event spot on a TV show. So, I don't know. I like it either way, I guess. You got to give the guys run somehow, and if they're going to start at the top, so be it.
Yeah.
Hopefully he carries his weight, I mean, that's all we could hope when he's out.
And he's got a good build too. I mean, he has a good build that there was going to be like a Brian Cage, Will Hobbs, match.
Right. That
would be a good hard-nosed brawling match with the way the two of them look.
Yeah. He doesn't have he doesn't have to do too much crazy shit, so.
Exactly.
But this match, man, is fucking great. This match was really good. Real hard hitting. Both guys killed it. Slowly getting on the Ricky Starks bandwagon. Yeah, I'm late. Whoever's gonna be out there going, "Oh, I've fucking been on Ricky Starks." I get it. I'm late. Like I said, heard his podcasts on AEW Unrestricted, and really like his mindset of the business. And that really kind of made me think about him a little more and understand where he's coming from a little more. So I'm in. I'm in on Ricky Starks right now.
Yeah, no, I know. I was talking about him some weeks back. I definitely wanted to see more with him, and I think we are now. I think that he's getting elevated nicely. He didn't win the match, but he still did really, really well. Exhibited some great ring presence, and I'm looking forward to seeing him in some other feuds.
Yeah, he's not. This feud isn't ended. I mean, this is going to continue. This will go right through the pay-per-view for sure. And Jim, of course, has to come in and say, maybe if you watched NWA, Bill. Fuck you, Jim. Fuck you, pal. All right.
I mean, there is. Yeah, I mean.
Yeah.
That's what I was saying. I mean, I liked him on NWA. And I liked that they brought him over here. I most of my experience of seeing him was from seeing NWA.
Right.
And again, if NWA ends up not coming back for any reason, then hey, it's a good landing spot for him.
Well, he's already signed, so I mean, he's done with NWA.
Oh, is that official? See, I wasn't sure that was actually official. Like if they come
Yeah,
back.
no, he's signed to AEW. He left. He
Okay.
let his contract expire and came over. So there's no going back with him. Yeah, I watched a little NWA here and there. I didn't watch it all the way. Again, it's tough to just get for me. I mean, I just wasn't. I don't know. I just wasn't. I can't even say I wasn't into the product. I just wasn't. It's for me to go out of my way to watch a show on YouTube without it being a weekly thing on cable. It's a little more difficult for me. At least now I have the cable show, and then with AEW, and then Dark is something that I seek out because of the cable show, if that makes any sense. I know it's kind of stupid, but that's kind of just where my mindset is at with that.
It's ironic. I find it easier when something is on YouTube because I feel like I can have that on in the background. I can absorb it a little bit better as opposed to finding it like on TV or whatnot. But I see what you're saying.
No, you're right. You're right. It's not hard, especially now. I'm like all in fucking YouTubeville. Like I'm heavy on YouTube, you know. But it's just I don't know. It's just a mindset thing for me. I'm not. Listen, man. I'm a fucking weirdo. So I mean, that I ain't saying nothing.
No weirder than me.
So then we get Cody with the promo. And Dasha with the dress, looking, I like that. I like that for sure. Nice dress. So we get a good promo. What did we talk about? Was it 2 weeks ago or a week ago? Cody again has to mention EVP. We haven't really had that in fucking the longest time, and all of a sudden Cody has to mention being an EVP.
Yeah.
Please let that shit die. Please
get off of that. Yeah, they really need to keep that out.
Yeah, get off of that selling point or that talking point. Get the fuck off it. It's just like I don't want nothing to hear. I don't want to hear that. I don't because then it makes it feel like you can do. Technically, you could do whatever the fuck you want. And there's nothing nobody could say, or there's no kayfabe to it. So it's like,
right, like it lowers the stakes because if he's saying that he's an EVP, you're telling me that in real life, right? If he's an EVP, he's not going to fire Brodie Lee, or he's not going to punish Brodie Lee, or something like that. It's like, no, I'm an EVP, but whatever happens, happens. That's what I've never liked about wrestling personalities coming out as kayfabe, is being part of the heads of company. I never liked it with WWE, and I don't like it here either, because it does make you wonder, well, okay, you're this position of power. Why are you not doing anything about these people who are fucking with your life? It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I can't really. What more can we say at this point? It's just we almost got away with it. The last time it was the announcer mentioning it. We haven't had. I don't think I've heard any of the wrestlers mention. Well, I mean, they mentioned shit with Brandy, so I think she's mentioned or somebody mentioned. Well, you're a branding officer, so you could do X, Y, Z. So maybe we have, but I think that was dark, and could get lost in that shuffle. But we haven't had it on a major national level of Cody saying it in a while, or the Bucks saying it. So even with the Bucks, they're super kicking dudes. They ain't going, well, we're EVPs. We don't have to pay the fine. They're not doing shit like that.
Right. You never hear it from the Bucks. That's the thing. For all the knocks we have about the Bucks, you never hear them bring that up.
Right.
At all.
So it's like they're just walking to Tony Khan like Tony Khan is the end-all be-all, tossing money at him. So, that kind of takes that EVP shit away from them. So, that's the way you want it, though. You know what I mean? That's the way you want it. So then we get the brawl, of course. Cody hems and haws, hems and haws. Nah, I'm not gonna accept your challenge. Then he leaves, gets halfway back to the back, and then he decides, let me go back, which is fucking stupid. I was just like, You could say no, then go to walk out, and then pause. You don't have to walk halfway back to the back room.
You know
what I
what
mean?
that felt like to me? I swear it felt like a fucking take. It felt like, okay, Cody, now let's hear you say yes. Okay, let me walk back and walk back in again.
Yeah.
It felt like a take to a TV show.
It was just it was crazy. I like, fuck are we doing? Am I the only one that's tired of Cody coming up to in the middle of the fucking entranceway as well?
It's
like to me, it's like you're now you're becoming what you claim you don't want to be, and maybe you're doing it on purpose, or maybe it's leading to something, but it's like too much for me.
Yeah, and it's one of the reasons I really don't like how that entranceway is set up, because it does allow for too much of that, you know? It's a short entranceway. It's definitely unique. I get what they're going for with it, but it does, you know, they should not be taking advantage of that to be doing a lot of play work on the entrance, you know? And him with the going back and forth. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't really like it. So then he accepts, of course. Then we get
go
ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but
no.
Here's the thing. He accepts the match. The match is next week. Right?
Yes, which shocked me.
Why the fuck is this match on free TV?
Shocked me.
Was Sting Hogan on free TV when they finally got around to it?
No, it was on Starrcade, 1997.
Starrcade. This match,
their big yearly show.
Right. And I mean, they could have let this drag on a bit more. He gets hurt, whatever, a bit more. Instead, boom, they're gonna blow their load next week. Why? Is next week even the anniversary? If it's the week after?
No, it's the week after. We fucked up last week as well. We thought it was this coming week, and it's the week after.
Right, we talked about that afterwards.
Right, so it's not even the anniversary show.
It's not even the anniversary. You're not even gonna have it on the anniversary. You're gonna have it. What is this? What is the point of this?
Which kind of doesn't make sense, because the anniversary is technically like, what was it, the second, or when was there, the third?
It was this past week.
Yeah, I think it was yesterday.
Actually this past week.
Yeah.
And I think that's why you and I got confused, because in real time, yes, it felt like this coming one should have been.
Why would you have an anniversary show not this coming week, but the following week on the 14th? That don't make sense to me.
It doesn't make any sense.
But, you know, hey, whatever. Sometimes AEW does shit that doesn't make sense. But it's an exciting show, so we let it slide as much as we can. We do talk about it, but, you know. So, you know, this turns into a brawl. We get Dark Order out there, Brodie Lee. It was a little long, the brawl, but I liked it. You know what I mean? I felt that brawl, you know. It wasn't like that fucking lame Battle Royal brawl that they tried before All Out, you know?
Yeah.
That was just fucking awful. I don't know what they were thinking there. And like you said, I have it on my notes. Crazy that we're getting a dog collar match on TV, you know? I don't hate it. I'm not hating it. I'm cool. I like it. I mean, that's going to bring fans in, and that's going to bring new eyeballs to the product, and, you know, so I get it. I'm with it, you know? But I was just shocked. I was a little shocked. And Jimmy said, Brandy's half-ass molasses splash. That should be a fucking shirt, right? Jimmy said
the half-ass molasses splash.
Yeah, Jimmy was laughing at our shirts, us and our shirts. But yeah, the splash that she did off the turnbuckle, the top turnbuckle to the outside onto Dark Order, and, you know, like, little ass Brandy taking out all these big ass dudes, you know. I don't know. I found it like, I didn't like that spot, but I found it was good in a way, because they did allow Brandy come out and continue that Anna Jay beef. So that was cool. I found it odd that what's her name came out of the crowd and started beating up broads. Nyla.
Oh yeah,
like,
yeah,
weird.
that was
like
weird.
Weird, you know. She comes out randomly and starts beating up chicks and shit.
Yeah.
So Jimmy says October 2nd is the anniversary. So yeah, so that was 2 days ago.
That was Friday. So that would have made sense. And if Friday was the anniversary, then it would make sense that this coming Wednesday would be the anniversary show.
Jimmy says I need royalty checks for that shirt now. That would be a funny ass shirt though. Brandy half-ass molasses splash. I like it. That was fucking quick thinking there, James.
I'll add it to the shirts.
I mean, that's all I really have on that. I'm pretty excited for the dog collar match next week.
Yes.
You know, I think that's gonna be fun. Really hope. You know, it's one of those things that could look good or look bad. I'm hoping it looks good, and I'm hoping that there's a lot of good blood. Somebody also made reference to. They made a good point. One of these podcasts I listened to about. Cody now has black hair, so with the blood, it won't show through as much like it used to on the blonde hair, you know.
It won't be that strawberry shortcake look that Ric Flair used to have.
Right. So, but still, I think you know, it's not that big a deal. It just kind of makes it a little more, you know, a little more emphasized. So we get. You got anything else on the brawl and the interview and all that?
No, I mean, I thought, outside of him going back and forth, it was silly, and I thought the brawl was great. I just, again, not really crazy about when they're having this match. I feel like it's such an important part of the story that you would think that they would have waited longer with this. But what are you gonna do?
Is what it is. Let's hope the pay-per-view got some fire on it then. You know.
Exactly.
All right, so we get Shivani interviewing FTR. And then out of nowhere, you get the super kicks on Shivani. I believe that might be Shivani's first bump ever. I could be wrong.
Is it really? Did he never take a bump in WCW?
I can't remember him taking a bump in WCW. It could be. It could not be. But I'm trying to think. I don't know if he ever did, but he took it well. He took it like a champ.
He did.
So then you get Matt Jackson in the frame acting all nonchalant about it. You know, like he didn't. It's a little laissez-faire, right? Was it a double super kick? Because
it was.
Yeah.
I bet. Yeah. I remember seeing 2 feet enter the frame.
Right. So where's Nick been? Because obviously Nick is maybe not at the show, because that's 2 weeks in a row where he's acting like Nick's there, but he's not.
So that means Shivani got super kicked by Nick's stunt double.
Yeah. Probably. And then FTR, of course, says, you know, why don't you pick on someone like us? Why would you kick somebody like Tony while we're right here? Whatever. You know, so of course it's leading to maybe FTR, you know, they're talking about not giving the Bucks a shot, basically, during this promo. You know, what have they done to earn it? So maybe this is a way to manipulate FTR into taking a match with them. Because then FTR gets a little fed up, like, why are these guys kicking these guys that are defenseless? Which is kind of, it's not a heel reaction. It's more of a face reaction. But you're kind of like, where do both of these teams stand? You know, FTR does the heel shit, but then are they going to do some face shit? Are they going to do some in between shit? So, you know, with statements like this, like, you know, why would you kick a guy like Tony? You know. So maybe this is a way to get FTR interested in fighting the Bucks and giving them a match. So we'll see how that progresses. I mean, that's the only thing I could think of is, you know, they're kind of using this storyline to get the FTR to allow the Bucks a title match and to be in the ring with them, which is what the Bucks want and FTR is trying to avoid. You know, that's the whole storyline now. So,
and again, I have a little bit of an issue with that too, because wasn't this whole thing that FTR wanted the Young Bucks at the very beginning?
Yeah, I mean, it seemed that way. But I think they got the title and they don't care about I think it's almost like that. They're kind of like, well, we got the titles now, so now we don't need the Bucks, you know.
Right.
We beat the Bucks to the title. Now it's the Bucks got to chase them. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's always kind of been like the Bucks in this whole, you know, pre them joining AEW. So now they're like, well, now it's FTR. So maybe that's the maybe that's the thinking, the process there, the thought process there. So from the promo, we go to FTR versus SCU, and they just put on a fucking clinic. These two teams.
This is a good match.
Match is fucking incredible. I mean, really good match. I don't. I'm not like, not that I like SCU. I almost feel like there's so much more that Sky can do solo, and Kaz. Kaz is getting older, but it's like he could do some stuff, and I feel like Kaz more so is almost lost without SCU, as to where I think Sky can move on without SCU, and he's a younger guy, so I think he has a little more in the tank in terms of what he can get out of his career.
I agree.
But they're all good fucking wrestlers, man. So whenever they are together, I enjoy watching them. And at the end, the ref looked fucking spent, dude. He looked legitimately worn the fuck out. Like he
actually did.
He was blown up. He's more blown up than the wrestlers, bro. Like he was like, I just fucking cracked up at the end. He fucking was like, Jesus Christ, thank God this is over. I don't know the guy's name, but it was pretty fucking funny.
It would have been funny if he was like helped to the back afterwards by one of the teams.
Yeah.
They just have one shoulder on one end, one on the other, and just
bringing him like dragging him out. Yeah. That's funny, man. He just was fun. It's funny that I know, like, I don't know. I mean, it was pretty obvious, but like he legit looked blown the fuck up.
He did.
The humidity in Florida, who knows what it's like right now? It's probably fucking god awful. So
exactly.
What do you got on that match?
No, I agree. It was fantastic. It was probably the match of the night. I liked that it was a 20-minute time limit. That kind of forced the speed as well. I mean, obviously these two teams fighting, you're going to have this kind of high speed match. But I did like the fact that they had that limit in place, and that helped to increase the drama for it.
Right.
It felt like a bit of a rush.
I didn't feel like they really used that time, though. I couldn't hear them calling the time unless I missed it.
They called it at 10 minutes. So there was a point where it was at 10 minutes, and they did note that, okay, we're at 10 minutes.
Okay.
Challengers have 10 more minutes for FTR retain. So they were bringing it up. They brought it up at the beginning. They brought it up in the middle at the 10-minute mark. And again, on paper, that's a lot of time, but it still added a nice element of urgency to the match, I thought.
I think, I must have missed the one in the middle, but I think you have to bring up when you get closer to the end. That's where that time really is the point of a time limit. You know what I mean?
Yes. Yes.
Oh, okay. So we got a man on the ground. So Kenny says, I keep forgetting Kenny's in Jacksonville. He said Jacksonville's humidity has been crazy for months now. So I fucking keep forgetting that Kenny's in Jacksonville. So we could ask him. So he, like he said, that's probably why that guy was blown the fuck up, like the ref. But yeah, I feel like if you're gonna have a 20-minute time limit match, the end of the match time needs to be a heavy focus and something that you don't go, did I miss it, or was that we shouldn't even be discussing did we miss it. That should be a fucking humongous factor in that match, because there is the 20-minute brush with greatness, or whatever the fuck it's called. So whatever. I mean, it's just something they need to work on if they're going to continue this shit.
Yeah.
Again, first match, it shouldn't have been had it been worked on. It should have just been. So after this match, they announced there's an 8-man tag, 8-man 20 for a title shot. First three contestants: Jungle Boy, Ray Phoenix, and drum roll, please, Kenny Omega. Of course.
Yep.
We knew Kenny Omega was going to be in there.
Absolutely.
So Hangman being on commentary was dejected and kind of slunk off, disappointed. He was talking about during commentary how has Kenny had a singles match at all? I have. Kenny hasn't. Are you sure he's moved on from a tag run again? And once this was announced, he kind of just did the slink off and had the dejected look on his face.
Yeah.
I don't know about you. I'm going to gather that Hangman's going to be in this tournament. And I have a feeling, because the finals will be at Full Gear at the pay-per-view. I'm having a feeling that Hangman will be on one side of the bracket and Kenny will be on the other. And I'm going to gather that they will face each other in the finals.
I was thinking the exact same thing. I thought that this was telegraphed quite a bit. I mean, he was all slunking off, but only 3 names were announced. There's plenty of time for him to still be named, and that's exactly what makes the most sense as far as how this would be written.
Right, and then I could see Kenny going over, and then Kenny facing Moxley for the title. And by this time, hopefully Kenny will be full-blown, Cobra Kenny, Terminator Kenny, Cleaner Kenny.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So I could see him pulling the title off Moxley. I don't know when. I mean, it obviously won't be at the pay-per-view since the tournament final will be at the pay-per-view. Right. They didn't say they would be wrestling the same night, right?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think so.
Okay. So that would be interesting, though. That would be interesting. But that would be putting the challenger under, at a disadvantage. So yes. I don't know that would be the best idea. But it almost makes it more relevant and almost makes it more interesting that he just wrestled a grueling 30-minute match or whatever against Hangman, and then he's got to go in for the title, and then he wins the title that fucking night off of Moxley. Think about that.
That would be hot.
That would fucking Kenny now is skyrocket. That makes Kenny makes Kenny look good, makes him look strong, He does it as a heel, Maybe he cheats to beat Hangman at the end. Maybe you get a little bit of a Moxley feud with him. Maybe not. I would like to see if he takes the title from Moxley. I would like to see them continue their early AEW feud for a little bit. But what'd you say?
I agree.
Yeah, but I would tell you what. If I would like to see if Kenny does go against Hangman in the finals and beats Hangman by some, shady dealings, as you would say, that he takes a title. Then he takes the title from Moxley. Then that gives you Hangman versus Kenny for the title. But you kind of skip over that Moxley piece. That is a big piece that you can get. So you almost got to take one or the other, or you take one and postpone the other.
Yeah.
I would almost postpone Hangman, but I would also love to see Hangman face Hangman, heel Kenny, feuding because of the way Kenny won their match or something to that effect.
Yes.
Because both guys are fucking amazing in the ring, regardless of what you say.
No, absolutely.
I think Hangman's one of the cleanest guys in AEW in the ring. And of course, we all know Kenny's pedigree.
Yeah.
I think he's got a little too much meat on the bone at times with the Terminator Rising fucking dive and shit. But I still think Kenny's probably one of the better wrestlers in the world.
Yeah.
What do you got on that tournament? Anything?
No, just that like I said, I pretty much agree. They announced 3 names. I do think Hangman's going to be in there, and I think the way you described it is probably how it's going to end up. It's a little predictable,
right?
But it is a good way of getting around to finally getting this going. So this leaves ample opportunity for this to take place. And again, the fact that this is going to be a Full Gear makes a lot of sense for things to get started there.
Jimmy says postpone it. Postpone to Kenny and Hangman. I mean, not his words, but that's what he means. Postpone Hangman Kenny because it needs more build. So
well, yeah, you can have the Kenny Moxley feud, and you could still have Hangman in the background getting involved, being in the shadows. They could still do something there, and then I don't know how long you have the Moxley Kenny Omega feud, how it ends. If Kenny keeps the title, Moxley gets it back. But either way, you can have Hangman still hanging around, no pun intended, and they can do something more where he's in the shadows, he's lurking, he's in the background, he maybe is costing some matches or costing some whatever, and then they can go ahead and graduate to that. But it would be a nice swerve to have a Kenny Moxley feud just open up out of nowhere when they've been doing this building towards the feud with Hangman.
Especially because in early TV, you had that hint of the cleaner coming out. He had the broom, and
Yep,
he would always fucking hint at it, and I was like, I was waiting for them to do it early, and they just never went to it. And then for him to do it now would be great. And then of course, that just keeps. It's almost like resurrecting what was started in the beginning of last year, in October of last year. So
exactly.
Either way, we'll see. We'll see how it goes, but I'll say I probably wouldn't be disappointed either way. All right.
And so from there we went to Jericho versus Isaiah Cassidy.
Mm-hmm.
Very impressive. I thought Cassidy looked great in this match.
Okay.
You disagree?
I think it was an match. I'm not saying it was Cassidy's fault per se. I just didn't have any. I didn't get into it. I'll say. I do have my note here. Says Jesus Christ, Cassidy sent onto Jericho was brutal. He pretty much just crushed him.
That was crazy. And I was watching that a couple of times, and it did look pretty brutal.
I know Jericho probably was not happy after that crush, but
right.
He's a very outspoken guy. He probably grabbed him in the back and fucking cupped the back of his neck and said, "Listen, kid, stop fucking around."
Yeah. And it's such a quick snap senton bomb too. He does it so quickly. That's what looks so impressive about it. But I guess it doesn't really leave him much time to really make sure that he's going to get it the right way. So
yeah, he just fucking. I've noticed that with a lot of sentons. A lot of guys been crushing dudes like pretty bad.
Right.
Like, if you're gonna do that, make sure you can do it. Don't just do it. Make sure you can do it and hit it 99% of the time.
Yeah.
Every once in a while, if you fuck up, it happens. But it seems like I've seen him fuck up a senton so many times. Not him particular. I mean, people in general doing sentons. Kenny says AEW related PSA. Tony Khan's Jags suck again. Shaking my head. What'd you expect, brother? Super Bowl? So, I just, match was He did catch him with that nice Judas effect.
Yeah.
I tell you what, I'm surprised that Judas effect has been so smooth almost every time he's hit it,
I was going to say, he is not getting clunky with it at all. He does a very good job with it. It is one of the smoother looking moves. And the fact that it's performed by this guy who's been in the business now for 30 years says a lot.
Yeah. What else you got on that match? Because I don't have much on it.
No, that's pretty much it. I mean, I liked it. I mean, I you're right about, the senton being messy, but otherwise I thought Cassidy put up a good show for it.
It wasn't bad. I just wasn't into it. I mean, Jericho matches aren't really lighting my fire,
Right.
So we move on to Kip and Miro. They have a little segment. Miro's trying to come up with good ideas for bachelor parties. He promises he promises Kip a Rumspringa. He wants wilding out, drinking, partying. He wants it to go crazy. So Rumspringa is where Amish kids they hit a certain age and they get to kind of go out for like a month or so. And
oh yes, I do remember hearing about that.
They get to go out for like a month or so and party, and they get to basically live a normal Western life, and then after that they decide if they want to stay in the Amish way or if they want to go out into the world and live like a current Western, you know, current Western society lives, So
Yes.
a lot of times they it's a lot of drinking, partying, shit like that.
Yeah.
Hedonistic shit, So Miro wants to basically have a Rumspringer, and I'm probably saying it wrong, but I don't give a fuck. But
The Amish listeners of this podcast are going to take a lot of issue with that.
yeah, all 0 of them, since they use candles to fucking light their houses. So, and all you what do they call them? My girl watches those shows with the leaving Amish or breaking Amish, whatever the fuck it's called, to the people that leave the Amish faith.
Yeah.
I forget what they're called, but so at the end, which apparently this is controversial, but Billy Mitchell makes a surprise appearance at the end.
Yeah, that was weird.
Little controversial, I guess, for gamers. Some gamers had been apparently turning off AEW after they seen that. People take that shit a little too serious, I think.
Right.
I'm going to stop watching AEW right now because Billy Mitchell's on there. Why are you giving this guy a platform,
Right.
Whatever.
Right.
I mean, Kip and Miro, their whole thing is that they become friends off of gaming. So, so you bring a guy like Billy Mitchell in who's got a, he's a name in the world of video games, especially early video games. So,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yep.
big deal, whatever. I mean, he's a cheat, he's not a cheat. What are you going to do at this point?
Yeah. I mean, if they had played a little bit with that, that would have been funny, but like having him cheated or something at the game, I don't know, it would have been a little funny if they had like a little non wink wink, but
listen, it was a quick spot.
yeah, it was
You
a
don't
cameo.
know you don't know what they're going to do next week.
That is true.
They can make him
I
cheat
will
next
say,
week.
yeah, that's true. I mean, I will say, I know I harp on this a lot, but this look of Miro's, man, and now he's got the wife beater with the blonde hair and the beard. I don't know, man. He just looks hella ridiculous. But what are you gonna do?
You are hating Miro's new look, bro.
I'm hating on this look.
You want the Bulgarian brute all the way.
I want the Bulgarian brute who tears people apart.
I think he's gonna be the fun-loving guy who tears people apart when it's time to get in the ring.
We'll see.
Which I'm fine with.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. What do you got on that segment? You got anything particular? Like, did anything stick out
No,
to you?
it was entertaining. I love them playing the Big Pac-Man game. That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was certainly entertaining. It did make sense if you're gonna have, if you want to put Billy Mitchell in, that was a funny place to put him in at, just as he's playing Pac-Man. So yeah. But I'm not a big fan of this story, so
right.
It was fun. It was entertaining.
Jimmy says it's trash. What's trash, Jimmy? Got to give us more detail, brother, so we can talk about it.
The whole thing is trash, right, Jimmy? The whole thing is trash.
I think he's on your board with you with Miro.
I'm telling you, man. It's
listen. I'm letting it build. I mean, I'm letting the Miro thing build.
We'll give it time.
Well, I'll let Jimmy respond to that. Let's move on to the next segment. We got okay. Wait, real quick. Okay, Jimmy says Miro needs to be ruthless. So it was about the Miro. He says it's trash. Basically, what Miro's doing right now. I don't know, man. I agree with you. I would have preferred he come in fucking just wrecking dudes, same as Allen. But I'm willing to let this play out. As with a lot of things, it's still young, it's still early. What does the payoff have? The payoff may happen, and you may be like, you know what, that was actually pretty fucking good. So let's see. Let's give it a shot.
Yeah.
I didn't shit on Dark Order, and I'm enjoying Dark Order, and I've enjoyed Dark Order from the get-go. Everybody else shit on Dark Order. So we'll see. Let it really fail before you say it sucks. You might not like the direction or prefer a different direction. I understand that because that's how I felt about a lot of things too. But I'm willing to let it go and see where it goes. Because like you guys, I would have preferred Miro come in like a beast. But I also like him for his personality. So his real personality. From being on Total Divas and then seeing him doing the video game stuff now. So I kind of like that side of him too. So. I think if you marry the two the right way, I think it could be a plus, So
yeah, we'll give it some time.
We'll see. But I totally understand you guys' feeling. All right. So we got Dasha interviewing best friends. You got FDR interrupting them, getting all cocky, acting cocky, calling best friends backyarders. So FTR goes to walk away, and the best friends both grab him and do the flinch on him. And FTR both like they both flinch, and Cassidy calls them both weenies, it's pretty funny, playing off of what Chuck Taylor said the week prior. Didn't he say something about call them weenies instead of
yeah.
So Cassidy played off that, called them weenies, and it's pretty funny. I enjoyed it. That was pretty much it. You got any insight on that?
No. I mean, that led to Cassidy versus Cassidy with best friends versus 10.
Yeah, I did like him calling them backyarders though. That was pretty fun.
Yeah, that was actually pretty funny.
What cracks me up is most of these young guys, they all were backyard. Like all of them were all backyarders.
Yeah.
WWE guys, AEW guys, all of them have done backyard shit.
I mean, Mick Foley's probably the most popular guy who
probably
started out
earliest that you could think of,
I think he was. I think he was the earliest, and he actually had, he kept a lot of footage of himself doing it.
Which is crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, look at Cardona. I mean, Cardona had like his own little thing when he was a kid, and
that's right.
Right. Basically, right in college is when he started being in the WWF. So
yeah.
Yeah. But it's an old school kick in the dick, to call someone a backyarder, So
it is.
It still has that implication, even though all these guys technically were backyarders, still has that implication, like you ain't shit, you're just a fucking visitor type of vibe,
Yeah, exactly.
So then, like you said, we got Orange Cassidy versus 10. What do you got?
Oh, I heard you. I thought you were about to say something. No, it was okay. It was a bit quick. Again, Orange Cassidy winning. You've still got this situation with, these guys losing, but it's fine. I did think it was funny the way when Cassidy was thrown to the barricade, Dark Order was like mocking that best friend's hug. That was funny.
I popped for that. I really did.
That was really funny.
And the fact that the camera pulled out,
Yes.
So
camera pulled out. That they did that perfectly. That was great.
That was great. Yeah. 100%.
And I mean, not much else to say. I mean, it was a decent match.
Yeah, it was short.
Orange Cassidy wins. It was short.
Good for how short it was.
Yeah.
They're just trying to keep that Orange Cassidy train going.
Yeah.
So, what do you got next?
Well, then we get this. It was funny. It was just so goofy. This sequence with Jericho and with MJF bringing in all the jackets. I don't know how. I was interested in hearing your thoughts on this, and I didn't want to ask you until the show. I want to have like a live reaction here, but I'm wondering if the way they set this up, MJF comes in, he's got jackets for everybody. He wants to just congratulate Jericho for what he's done, 30 years, and they don't have a jacket for Sammy.
Right.
And he's, of course, blaming Wardlow for it, and everybody else is like whatever, and then you have the back and forth of Jericho going, do you want to join, the Inner Circle? Do you want me to join the Inner Circle? No, do you want to join the Inner Circle? It got a little silly.
Right.
I thought what was interesting about this is that, because we're wondering what's MJF going to do. Is he going to form his own stable? Is he going to try to get involved with a different stable? The fact that he didn't have a jacket for Sammy makes me wonder if his plan is he's going to take Sammy's position. Is that like leaving the horse head in the bed, you know? And that's kind of what I got out of this when this was over. That was intentional. That was him saying, "You got a spot for me. I'm just going to take this other guy out, and then you'll have a spot for me." And the fact that Sammy's like, "What a loser!" You think Jericho's going to say the same thing? He's like, "No, maybe he's not." So I don't know. What do you think? That's kind of what I got out of this sequence.
All right, so I feel. Let me think here. This could go a few ways. I feel like number one, MJF, I don't think will be in the inner circle.
Okay.
Jim says MJF replaces Sammy. You heard it here first. Boom. Kenny says.
Well, no, you heard it here first, Jim.
He did. And then Kenny says MJF's such a nice guy, giving his peers gifts. Just the salt of the earth. So, all right. I think this could go a few ways. I don't think MJF is going to join Inner Circle. I think MJF is a guy that stands on his own and should be a leader of a group. I think if anything, he's sowing dissension between Sammy and the other guys in the group. And is it going to be Sammy and Jericho maybe turning face, or Jericho turning face and Sammy being the cause, one of the causes? I'll get to that in a second. Or will it be just sowing dissension to break up Inner Circle altogether and usurping some of that talent? Like I had said, I would love MJF and Santana and Ortiz to be part of a faction with maybe another person. So here's my thought on Sammy. Sammy, maybe using Sammy to turn Jericho face. Sammy says, "What the fuck are you doing here?" And Jericho tells him to wait a second. And then he repeats exactly what Sammy says. "What the fuck are you doing here?" Basically. I did laugh at that. That was funny. I like Jericho. I like Jericho stealing like his guys.
I did like that too. That was quite funny.
His guy's gimmick. So maybe that starts to rub Jericho the wrong way, and it causes the friction within the group, and maybe pushes Jericho towards his face turn. Eventually, he's going to have the face turn, and thus splitting Inner Circle, allowing someone to allowing MJF to maybe usurp a few guys. So that's one thought process I had, and then maybe Jericho and Sammy see the light and just kind of don't like what's going on, and they turn face together, which I would prefer Sammy as a heel, and MJF again usurps some people, from the group. So it could go a number of different ways. I mean, a couple ideas there. Maybe I'm way off. Maybe I'm slightly there. Maybe, who the fuck knows? But I'm interested. I'm interested to see where it goes. I just have no feeling in my bones whatsoever that MJF will be an Inner Circle member. I could see this more as a use of splitting up Inner Circle.
Okay.
And like you said, I did enjoy Sammy calling him a loser after he left, and then Jericho says, "Perhaps not." He was all like sophisticated about it. Perhaps not.
Yeah. Yeah.
So let's see real quick in the chat before I get your take on that. Jimmy says MJF, he's better than us. Kenny Walter says, and we know it. So we now have Kenny and Jimmy are like a fucking symbiotic relationship here. They're finishing each other's sentences. And Kenny says MJF 2021 as always. And Jimmy says, I approve this message. I like this new marriage in the chat. Jimmy's with us for the first time. He's an old friend of ours.
Yeah.
A wrestling fan. So it's good to see him and Kenny in the chat together and basically day one finishing each other's sentences. We love these symbiotic relationships. we're glad we could bring you two together.
Yes.
So
be in the wedding party.
So what? Listen, you don't want to fucking put them on that level. I mean, they're just symbiotically friendly, you know, like Sammy and Jericho.
Yeah, there you go.
You know, we call them les sex gods. Kenny and Jimmy, les sex gods.
Les sex gods. They'll have to log on under that moniker in the chat room next time.
Yeah, they have a joint account like those guys who have joint accounts with their wives on Facebook. they have a joint YouTube account that they log on together. Oh my god. Yeah. Yo, Kenny just pulled out the did we just become best friends from what the fuck was that? Step Brothers.
Oh, Step Brothers. Yep.
I think we did. That's fucking great. So I mean, what do you think on what I said? What were you like? Does any of that make sense?
No, it is. It's intriguing, and you kind of could marry the two concepts. I mean, you could have a situation where he does go in there and take Sammy's spot, but then he sows dissension. Yeah. I mean, that is possible as well. But yeah, okay. I do agree that no matter what, this doesn't end with him just being in the inner circle. There's something more afoot here that he's doing for sure. I was thinking that taking Sammy's spot would be step one to whatever he wants to do.
Oh, shit. Jimmy says, too sweet. You have to call me Dragon. Oh my god. Oh, that's great. Yeah, it's going to be an interesting piece going forward. So, what do you got next?
Well, we got Britt Baker versus she who likes to feed herself to everybody. Yes. Red Velvet again.
The cake lady.
The cake lady. Okay, all right match. I was going to say Britt still needs work in the ring for sure.
Yeah, I got to say I was shocked and it was a pretty damn good match.
I thought it was an okay match. I thought that Britt still looks a little clunky, but it was still otherwise good. Her presence in the ring is great.
Right, I have that too. I loved how she played the heel up. She did it so well.
Her presence is great. It's the moves, it's everything else.
She shined in that heel role. I mean, we've been talking about that. Her in-ring work was the strizzling shits, we'll call it. And her heel work was fucking incredible. She needed to marry the two. I think in this match, she married the two very well. Let's just hope that she could continue with having good matches. Okay, if you say it's not great, I say it was pretty good. I'm not saying it was great, but pretty good match, especially considering her. I think if she could marry the two and have decent matches and only get better as she goes, I think that's only a net positive,
Right.
So.
Right.
That's pretty much all I got on that.
No, same here. Again, Red Velvet made her look great for the most part, so there you go. So very quickly, they did announce what's happening next week. So next week is Chris Jericho's 30-year celebration.
Yep. Again, why not on the anniversary show? A lot of this shit should be anniversary show shit.
Exactly. It's very, very odd how they are. Yeah, they skipped a week unless they felt maybe that Jericho's 30-year celebration should be its own thing. Maybe they didn't want to take away from it.
Maybe not take away from AEW celebration.
Yeah, like looking at the card and looking at what they're doing, it's like, well, maybe that's what they did. Maybe they ended up but then again, if that was the case, it would have made more sense, I think, to have the AEW anniversary first, followed by Jericho celebration. Like you put that off by like a week. I don't think that would have been such a big deal.
Right.
If they ended up going that route. So yeah.
Just fucking thought of what if there's a major scenario that happens and plays out during that with MJF. That's
a good point.
That's a perfect opportunity to do something big with them too.
That's a very good point.
And Kenny says you have to call me Nighthawk. Oh man. Fucking love these guys.
But that's true. They could almost do something I mean, I know you didn't watch, but everybody knows that there was this very memorable segment with Chris Jericho and Kevin Owens a couple years back, where they were celebrating their friendship, and then it just led to Owens
I
going
know
completely
of
nuts from Jericho.
I know of the segment. It's like Festival of Friendship or some shit, right?
The Festival of Friendship.
Yeah.
And I
And what
wonder
happened?
whether or not they might do something here
What
like that.
What happened now? You said
So Kevin Owens was basically like Jericho was giving him gifts, and Owens said, "Well, I have a gift for you as well." And basically, he ends up just beating the hell out of him. And even though they were both heel at the time,
right.
It was Owens as a heel going even more heel, which pushed Jericho to become a face.
Okay, gotcha.
I wonder if they're now. I didn't even think of this until you brought it up. I wonder if they might do something similar at this celebration. We'll see.
Jimmy says, "I hope they don't do too much like the Festival of Friendship." So yeah, he's saying the same thing.
So it's but it is Jericho's 30-year celebration. There's gonna be Jericho and Hager versus Chaos Project. Cage versus Hobbs, and of course Brodie Lee versus Cody with the dog collar match. Yeah, so pretty big week.
That's just Jericho trying to get in with his boy Chaos Project, trying to get a little segment with his friend.
Yep.
Get him on TV on TNT. Obviously, the way they played that out. We didn't even talk about that. Honestly, that happened during their match, their little confrontation with Luther, his little confrontation.
That's right.
So, but we won't rehash it because it's not that important. It's just a small little thing that led to a throwaway match that's going to happen next week, which I'm sure will be obviously Jericho winning with Jericho and
Hager
winning.
Yeah.
So then we move on to the end here. We get a Kingston promo. Clutch promo is always nothing more you can say about Kingston. The guy's on when he's on the mic, no question. His whole gimmick here is threatening Remsburg. Apparently these guys go way back in Chikara where they're really good friends. They've known each other. They started together. So, it's cool to see him in an angle with an old friend of his that happens to be a ref now. Or he probably always was, whatever. But he's threatening Remsburg about last week? Remsburg, what did he do? I can't remember exactly what happened. He rang the bell. He rang the bell on him and caused. Yeah, he says he cost him the match or whatever.
Right, because this is again. So what's really funny is he's like, "Well, I didn't tap out to the bulldog choke. I passed out. Like we didn't even know that because you never checked your arm." It's like that would have been really funny if they played that. It's like, you didn't even raise my arm. You didn't even check my arm.
That would have made sense. And then he could have even used that to keep him in that whole. Remember, I didn't get eliminated, and I didn't tap out. Shit, man, you just said that, kind of clicked that in my head. Like they could have used that. You didn't raise my arm 3 times, so I didn't technically lose. I did find, real quick to like backtrack quickly. I didn't understand. Dude, these guys are fucking great in the chat. I didn't understand. I'll get to that in a minute, but just the whole Kingston's gonna pick Moxley's opponent for the night. They're like, then they just kind of throw it out there, and then on today's show they kind of like, yeah, Moxley was so. Then they literally wait for Kingston to say it in his promo that Moxley was so infuriated last week. I don't know why he won the match, that he just wants a match, and he for some reason he wanted Kingston to pick his opponent. Like, it was kind of fucking haphazard. I just don't get it.
It was very clunky. It didn't really make much sense at all.
Right, no sense
Moxley
at all.
Won the match.
Right. Made no fucking sense at all. He's so pissed off that he won the match. Now he wants him to fucking pick his opponent. Like, it was stupid. I thought it was stupid before, and I thought it was stupid how they explained it, and the fact that they took literally to the end of the show for Kingston to come out and explain it. I thought that was fucking dumb too. Unless I missed it in the end of the last show or somewhere in between, but it didn't make any fucking sense to me.
Yeah.
So anyway, they're threatening Remsburg basically. Moxley comes out with the save, and he runs off the heels, and he's in the ring, and of course Kingston has Butcher come from behind, and that's who Kingston obviously has set up to go against Moxley. So Moxley turns around, and there it goes. Set it off. Match starts. You got Mox versus the Butcher. Nothing great. I really didn't pay close attention to it. I do like both guys, but I think Butcher's better in the tag team. I don't think he's solid enough a wrestler. He's an old guy, man. He's an older guy. He's in his 40s.
Yeah.
He is what he is. He misses a couple spots. He lets a lot of things slip a little bit. So while I enjoy him as a tag partner, as a tag team, and I think he has a fucking amazing wrestling look, I do see that he has some holes in his game. And at his age, he's closer to retirement than he is, the start of his career. So,
yeah,
I don't see him progressing that much better. He might. People could get better. I'm not saying he can't, but you'd almost think at that age, it's almost like you're in your ways, and you won't see much progression in those small things that he does that he misses. And it's not awful, but I do notice them. They kind of, for me, they're kind of glaring. But he also has good matches as well, and that's why him being in a tag team allows him to cover those issues up, and it doesn't really affect the match as much. That makes sense.
Yeah, he I agree. I mean, he has a great look. He is an older guy. You are able to cover up a lot of blemishes by having him in a tag team.
Mm-hmm.
I guess for tonight, they just wanted to showcase him a little bit, just to have some surprise of, oh, okay, look who you're facing. But yeah, the match was it was so. It was very sluggish, but that's because, Moxley can only do so much, I think, with someone like this on a one-on-one basis.
And he's a big guy, and he's not in the greatest condition, and it's hot out there,
exactly
like Kenny said. Real quick, all right. So Jimmy says Butcher's only been wrestling for 5 years. So okay, so he's green as shit. Still, to me, that's considered. You're only 5 years in, and now you're on the national stage. I think that's pretty green. And he's older. I think he's like 44 or something like that.
I was gonna say, for him to have a short wrestling career like that, he is older. I don't know if that means he just got started late or what, but yeah,
he probably just got started late. I know he's good friends with Josh Barnett, who's a catch wrestler, MMA fighter. I know they're friends, and so, and it's nothing against Butcher, because I love the guy. I personally love the guy. I love his look. I just think right now, and maybe I'm wrong in that sense, where I don't think he'll get better, because now only seeing he's been in for 5 years. Yeah, he's older, but he's still got probably a bunch of years in him. Obviously, even though he's older, maybe he will progress as the time goes on, especially being on TV and queuing and learning the timing of shit. So. Maybe I'm wrong. I mean, I'm not saying it to disparage him. I'm just kind of saying there are little shifts in his game that I see where he misses things, or he gets a little sloppy with like a move, or he kind of gets a tiny bit lost. I've seen one thing he does do that I think is dangerous is he misses a lot of guys when he should be catching them on dives and flips and shit like that.
Yes.
That has
been his problem for a while.
He has missed a lot of guys, and he's a big guy, and I think he's a guy that could take those, but he misses a lot of them. That is the one thing that I will say that he really needs to tighten up, if anything. Other than that, I love him as Butcher and the Blade. I love the look. I'm not dogging the guy. It's not like he goes out there and shits the bed like fucking Joey Janella does or whatever. It's not on that level. It's more just like, little things that you kind of catch throughout the match, Nothing that really hurts the match overall. But I do love that Moxley's using that pile driver. I'll say that much.
It's a great move. He does it really well.
Yeah. I'm really happy to see that. You know me, man. I love them old school moves that kind of feel like they're like lost in time. Especially WWF doesn't allow people to do pile drivers.
No more.
Right? So, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. No, I mean, Undertaker's the only one who could somewhat get away with it with the tombstone, but that's like done in a modified way. You can't have
Right.
like the old Paul Orndorff pile drivers
Right.
anymore.
So go back to the chat real quick. Can he go? So it's so they're still going in on the the Step Brothers. He goes, "I'll never turn heel on." Kenny says, "I'll never turn heel on you," and Jimmy says, "Shake and bake." So that popped me earlier. I just had to get those guys some shine. I love these guys together in the chat are great.
Yeah, no, they're great.
I love it. Too bad Kenny's watching fucking football on Sundays, man. You got to be in here more often now. Jimmy should be on the show live with us next week, Kenny. So maybe you pop in for
I was gonna say we could do a foursome next week.
Get on the call for a little bit, if anything. But yeah, I mean that's pretty much it for the show. I mean, was there anything you wanted to talk about otherwise? Was there anything you wanted to shore up or?
No, just that I am looking forward to the next 2 weeks. The more definitely. I'm thinking about now this 30th anniversary with Jericho, I do, until you brought up, I wasn't really thinking of it, that I'm wondering if this is going to be a huge deal with MJF, that they might really elevate something happening here on that show.
Yeah.
The dog collar match, again, not great about the placement, but I think that should be certainly entertaining. And then it'll be curious to see then what they have in place for the actual anniversary. So good stuff upcoming.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to it as well. I think there's a lot going on. What's your take on this tournament? What you excited for this? You think it's AEW? Okay, real quick. AEW always finds a way to manipulate the rankings, which I don't. People want to hold them to that rankings thing that they talked about. I don't give a fuck. I like I said before. There's no way you could always have the champion fighting the number one. Because when you fight the number one, that's got to be big pay-per-view money fights. You know what I'm saying? Matches. You can't just go, oh, well, he's not number one. Why is he fighting the champ? Why is the champ fighting this random guy? Because he's a fucking, you can't, if he's going to wrestle every other week on TV, you can't just keep throwing him the number one, because there's a reason there's a number one, to use that number one to build something. And if that number one isn't in your plans, now you can shift and do something like a battle royal or a tournament to shift your number one into being who you need it to be. Yeah. And I don't mind it. I don't mind that. I think
this is a good vehicle for doing that for sure.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to it. I at first I was like, I don't know, like tournament, but then I'm like, that's actually fun. It gives you some good wrestling for the next 4 weeks or whatever. And then right into the
next month.
Right, and then right into the pay-per-view with that finals. So, I'm looking forward to that. I mean, I definitely think Hangman's going to be in there. And as far as the first round, considering who's in it to begin with, I really would like to see Jungle Boy and Kenny Omega.
That would be cool. That would be actually very cool, because it would be a nice way to showcase Jungle Boy. He really does need to have a singles thing going, and that would really be a nice way to show him off, to have him in there with Kenny. I agree.
Now take this into consideration. Remember, Kenny attacked Marco Stunt.
Yes,
that was his that was his first visual heel move, if I'm not mistaken.
That's right.
So now you have him go use this match. Number one, they will blow the roof off the place. Number two, you use it again. You could use that scenario. Maybe he attacks Marco again, or beats up Jungle Boy after the match, and Marco and Luchasaurus come out. I won't try to say their tag team name, because I never get it right.
I was going to say, I wanted to know if we were going to be able to break the streak or not, but yeah.
I won't say. I was almost going to try to just to fucking, do it, but even kayfabe, I don't want to fuck it up. So, so I think there's some good opportunity, because you're gonna have to get Kenny more heelish, a little more heelish than he currently is, before I think the the finals. You know.
Yes. Yes.
Just my
And
thought
it's something they could
process.
build throughout the tournament. They could have him throughout the tournament.
Right.
You can maybe see him exhibiting more and more heelish tendencies, and then it just explodes at the end.
Right. Yeah, so it'll be fun. I think that's it, man. I mean, I don't like off the top. There's nothing else really.
Nope. Same here.
All right,
Good
we just
show.
Yeah. Sorry again. I feel like every show I start off a little discombobulated, man. I felt like I couldn't get my thoughts together, but we're ending pretty solid here. So
Absolutely.
Plus we got the peanut gallery over here. So all right, everybody, please like, share, subscribe on the YouTube channel. Hit the bell. Smash the bell, smash the like. Smash it. Algorithms. Help us out. All the shit.
Exactly.
Whatever all those YouTubers say, do what they say, except for our channel, because we need that.
Exactly.
That's huge for algorithms. And click the bell and smash the like and hit the subscribe button. Grab all your friends' phones, your family's phones, your kids' phones. Your kids are your family. You know what the fuck I'm saying. And like, share, subscribe, and hit the bell on their phone. Let them be surprised by our podcast. Like, who the fuck? What is this? As always, everything we do, uncensoredalliance.com. Everything. All our Facebook groups, all our Facebook pages, our email. You could click emails directly from there. Our fucking links to everything. Our Skype link. Twitter, we are at AEW Uncensored. One word. No, nothing in between all that. AEW Uncensored Podcast at gmail.com is our email. You want to send us love mail, hate mail, questions, statements, whatever the fuck you want read on the air on the show. Send it there. If I could get it out right. On Facebook, search AEW Uncensored Podcast. We have a group and a page. Like the page, join the group. We're on all third-party podcast apps. Just search AEW Uncensored Podcast, and it will pop up. Subscribe on those. Google Podcasts, iTunes, Deezer, TuneIn, Stitcher, iHeart Radio. On iTunes, rate, subscribe, write us a review, whether it's 1 star, 5 star, 4 star, 2 star, whatever the fuck it is, do it. Because, again, algorithms are huge. It helps us on iTunes. They're the biggest platform for podcasting in the world, and the more traffic we have going to our iTunes and doing things like that, the better it is for our show. So if you want us to grow like we want to grow, please help us and do stuff like that, especially with the likes and shares and subscribes and stuff. Even if you just randomly share our podcast links or the YouTube link on whatever social media you're on, that would help us a lot. It would just get other eyes on us, and it just helps us grow. And the more content we can bring to you guys every week and share it with, just have fun with you guys throughout every week and have some fun. And as always, if you want to join the show with us, get on a call. Join our Skype chat. Just the links in the description. Link in the description of the podcast and in the YouTube description. So click it. Send me a message. I'll add you. And then from that chat, you just say, "Hey, listen, man, I got something I want to talk about," and we'll bring you on with us. We want to be as interactive as possible. We've been very interactive with our guys in the YouTube chat, as you can see. Jimmy's finally here. It's been a while. Me and Jimmy haven't talked in a while. We linked up recently, so started chatting. And he's going to be joining us next week, hopefully. And
awesome.
Him and Kenny are now best friends. So
we made it happen. We made that happen.
That's it, man. We bring people together. So we got shake and bake over here now. So that's about it, guys. We just want to say thank you very much. And we will see you next week. Peace.
Peace.
Peace.